Hey everyone, how you doing? Imran from Squadron. It's been a pretty relentless day so far. It's been pretty cool with the whole WebP revolution snippet. I don't even know why I called it WebP revolution or WebP power up or whatever name I came up with. I was just in a bit of a delighted mood that it basically works. So much hard effort's gone into it, and I'm currently working on it in the last hour and a half just to make some tweaks and improvements. There might be another version, maybe by the end of the week. I won't rush it out. I'll wait until maybe Friday if I am going to do another update on it. I'm basically to let you know, I'm going to give you like extra features like the image quality and the option to convert into AVIF or not. Right, I'm just going to switch over to ensure that I can see all the live chats that are creeping in. The thing is, though, it's been pretty relentless with the comments coming in on the video and then comments upon comments. So it's been hectic. So every time I stop and I go, right, I'm now going to work on something else, there's another comment and then another comment, and some of them I have to respond to. Some people have had issues, but like I said, that's down to you and your host provider. You'll probably find that with any plugin you use for WebP conversion, if your host provider, if you haven't got the right admin rights, or there's like extra level of security on the host provider, or you've got some sort of security plugin, because some of them are a bit harsh on letting people touch the backend files and databases, or you haven't got GD or Imagic kind of facility features, whatever they're called in your backend, it won't work for you. It won't work whatever plugin you use, right? So some people have said, "Oh, I got a 403 error." I'm like, "Yeah, that's your host provider. You got to go back over there." Hey Phil, how you doing? It's I've been working quite well. Last couple of no, I lie. Friday, Saturday was me just working on this WebP converter plugin, and I want to make it better. I am going to make it better. A little bit more intuitive, but also give you a little bit more control. That's gone out, and a lot of people are liking it. And I did do some real hardcore testing. Like someone from the Web Squadron group let me do it on their client's website. They made a backup and everything. And the website went from like 7.7, I think it was, to like 1.1 or 7.6 to 1.1 gigabytes. Someone else had like 4.2 and it went to zero point 0.9 gigabytes. It shaved off over 3.3 gigabytes worth of images. And so it's when you think about the fact that your files and databases are big because of legacy images, and even when you are doing WebP and you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing WebP, everything's cool. Your file and database in your backend might still have 3 or 4 duplicate images that you don't even know about. And you might go, yeah, but they're small. They add up. And if you've got a website with like 4,145 images is what one site had, okay? 3/4 of all of those images, right? Not 3/4, a quarter, sorry, were WebP already. But you still had like, it came up to about 0.6 gigabyte, and that still counts. Hey, Pixstar, how you doing? I am working on some improvements, by the way. So there are some things I'm working on right now, which are the option to select WebP or AVIF. So if you want to convert them all into that, the image quality as well, because currently it defaults to 80. It currently defaults to 82%. Why is it 82? It is just 82. All right, I did that on purpose. It's 82. It just defaults to that. And I am looking into giving the option for you to have like a add in your own image quality. So if you want to go to 75, if you're a photographer and you want to go for 90. Now AVIF is actually okay. However, if you have a mobile phone, I don't know why I'm holding this up, mobile phone, right? Mobile phone inside there. And you are on iOS and you're not on iOS 16 or above, AVIF won't work for you. So you got to make sure you got iOS 16. So if you imagine a lot of parents give their phones to their kids who might be at school, and their kids are walking around with an iPhone 9 or 10 or 11 or something like that, or a 12. If that's not on iOS 16 and they go to a website that's got an AVIF, they're just going to get blanks. So that is something like that is something that people do need to be aware of. Hey, Firas Blueser, by the way, he saw the code, realized that images in your posts, the file syntax at the end, the type was not changing or picking up the Webp, and that's basically, he's fixed that. It's a big shout out to Firas. And Firas, if you missed it, I'm just tweaking and trying to look at, can I get an AVIF option stuck into there and the option to change your image quality. In the code, it currently defaults to 82%. I'm going to kind of give some people the option to kind of sort that out. By the way, hey to Case, Shasha, Chris, Todda, Firas, Pickstar, Phil, thanks for all being here. Roham, I'm glad you like that. Question you got is, can we fix height instead of width? Now, it's funny you say that, Roham. Sorry, not Goram, Roham. It's funny you say that. So I was building it for maximum width, and I kept thinking about the height because you may have portrait images, right? And I found that, like, it's a tricky one, right? Because if people start to enter in a value for width and height, and it's not the right scale, it could throw a problem, right? That being said, though, correct me if I'm wrong, everyone here, but I think the majority of people will be more bothered about the width because you load in an image and it's a huge width, but portrait can be a big thing as well for photographers. My reply to anyone that says, well, I want to set the height instead of the width, all I'm going to say is you take the code, because it's not locked away in GitHub or somewhere or hidden away. You take the code, stick it into some AI, make sure you're careful, and you say, here's the code. What do I need to change to ensure this touches the image height and not the width? And then you go and create your own forked version. And I said forked. I didn't swear. I meant forked version, so you could go and do it yourself. Yeah, I mean, Phil, you are right. Short pixel. I wanted to create something, though, where it's free to use. There's no cost attached. It's completely free. If you want to use it, you can use it. And if, like, I mean, look, if some people have an issue with it or it doesn't work with their host provider, and that then means they need to go and use Elemental's image optimizer or short pixel or something else, they can go and do it. See, I agree with you, Phil, though. You are right, though, because it takes it away from the host. But the way I see it is, here's a solution. If they want to use it, they can use it. If it's not spot on accurate for them, not spot on accurate, that's the wrong word. If it doesn't work for them, kind of thing, then I would say, whatever's, let it, use something else. Because I don't think this snippet is going to be ultra useful for everyone. Everyone's going to have a problem with it or something. And I think you could say that about any snippet, any plugin, any page builder, any bit of code. But to get to where we are, and just to put things into context, I started working on this Friday morning at about 5:30 a.m. A friend of mine whose website, they built their website. They've let people upload images like blog authors, or they got a bit of they turned it into a directory, but they had loads of people uploading images. And their website was 4.2 gigabytes, 4,145 images. I mentioned it in the video. And they were really, really struggling. And they had tried different optimization plugins. They'd even got a couple of premium ones. And they found that, even with optimization, things were still bloated. And I went, can I just have a quick look at your files and database? And they gave me a login. And I quickly jumped in and I was like, yeah, because of your duplicated images. And that's when my head went, hold on. I've got a previous snippet for maintaining your original and the 150 by 150. There's another snippet for converting into WebP. How about I start to merge them and do more and scale and get rid of the images in your file and database, right? And that's when it started coming together. A lot of trial and error. A lot of trial and error. What did you think about the way I presented it? Where I had like I had the tool on the left side, and on the right hand side I had the files and databases. So as I did it, you could literally see the changes. When I dropped in an image, you could see all the duplicates. When I hit convert, you could see it convert, or convert, change the size. And then when I hit like delete, you saw it disappearing off. I thought that was great. You know, rather than me doing like, okay, now click it, now I go to another screen. I mean, I had to jump around to go in and out of the media library. I had to do that. I didn't want to have too many open, but I did feel like giving you that immediate, like, you got to see the speed of it, basically. Now, when I exactly Pixar, a lot of people are not aware of that, right? When I ran it on that person's website, that was 4,145 images. Even though some of the images are WebP already, a quarter of them, it still goes through them to check that your width is not more than 1920. Because even though they had some WebP images, about a quarter, about 1,000, some of them were like 3,500 pixels wide. So it took about 25, 26 minutes, right? You just got to let it run. Okay? And I thought that was really good. I thought that was really, really good. Right, let me just check something on the comments on here. I don't know why my screen's gone a bit funny. Hold on. Whoa, what's going on here? Here we go. Cool, got it now. Pixar, no, sorry, not Pixar. Case, talking about setups. Am I the only one missing the remarkable on screen? Oh. Can you not? What do you mean you're missing the remarkable? Oh, you mean me writing? Yeah, I mean, I haven't done that for a while. I need to get back. I actually miss doing that as well. I think I will get back into that. I think it was quite fun, wasn't it? Where I was writing. I had to think about that for a minute, Case. I literally turned around to check it's over there. It's just there where my finger is right now. I think I need to... Yeah, I actually do miss... I thought it was fun, wasn't it? Because I was able to jot down stuff as well. But yeah, I think I'll bring that back into fashion tomorrow. In fact, I got loads of client calls tomorrow. A collaboration call, 2 client calls, a hefty big client call on Thursday. You know when like you get excited? I mean, I got a couple of videos that I still need to edit as well, but I really want to work on this converter. In fact, the name's going to change. It won't be called the WebP Power Up. It's going to be called the Image Converter Power Up or something, because once I get the AVIF option built into it, that will then mean every time you drag in an image. I mean, here's why this is a game changer, because some people have said to me, but there are other tools. This is why this is a game changer, okay? I always recommend that you use bulkresizephotos.com, even though there are image converting tools, plugins, software out there, right? And websites. TinyPNG used to be quite popular. Still is popular, but I don't use it anymore. Bulkresizephotos.com for me was always the winner, even when you have all these other plugins and tools, just because of how quick it did it, and it was reliable and all of that. And I knew what it was doing. This now means I don't have to use bulkresizephotos.com. So when my client, or one of them, one of these clients I hate, but they always pay well, is they might send 30 images over for their blog post. This is what annoys me. They got a blog post and they have 30 images on there. And I'm like, fine, we'll just stick a gallery in. And you take their 30 images and you have to stick them through bulkresizephotos.com or something like that, right? Yeah, image optim. I just like bulk resize photos. Something about it, I just like it. So you take those 30 images and I stick it in there, get the download, and then stick it in. Now I can just stick them in. And here's the great thing, right? Here's the super beauty, right? Whenever they take their images, right, they always take it on a mobile phone. So their images, their widths and everything are huge. Huge. Hey, Eddie. Hey, Eddie, have you seen the video today? The Webp one. Have you seen it? If you haven't, you need to see it. So with this tool, we can convert into Webp, blah, 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 blah. Once I get the AVIF bit working, I can now revisit that website and go, you know what? It's currently a Webp. Let's convert it into AVIF. And I am going to check, all right? The reason why I'm not rushing it out is because I'll need to test it. Because I know what happens when you go from a PNG or a JPEG to AVIF. I know. But if you've already gone and converted your images into Webp and then you convert to AVIF, is there a bit of a danger there in terms of the quality or something? So I want to be really, really sure of what I say. The great thing is once you've activated it, every future image now won't clog up your file and database. It will be a maximum size and it will be a Webp. So for anyone out there that's got a directory or you got people that are creating your blogs or posts and they're uploading images, this will sort you out. This is now like, exactly, yeah, Phil, that's one of the other things as well. That's one of the other things as well. So I need to be sure about what's going on there. Hey, Dennis, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like the video. Look, I think there will be flaws that crop up. And I'm not trying to say I don't care, but what I hope people appreciate is that this is not a plugin. This is not a premium tool. No one's making any money out of this tool whatsoever. If you can improve it, take the code, improve it. If you want to share it back so I can do a video on it again and say, right, here's the latest version, that would be great. All right, we don't want to have loads of different ones, but if you think there's a way to clean it up, make it more efficient, maybe tweak something or whatever, let's go for it. It's open source, but there's no monetization, right? This is all just like, the WordPress community and all that shit. WordPress community, that's what we're doing here, the Web Squadron community. But if you think you can make it better, go for it, okay? Just got an email from Jeffrey that you dropped a bomb today. He shared, did he like it? I haven't heard from Jeffrey yet, actually. I think, to be honest, I haven't even put it out in my Web Squadron newsletter because it's been hectic. So since this morning, the moment I got up, it's been lots of emails, lots of comments, some people making suggestions, some people criticizing it. I've had a fair share of those as well, and I don't care because you don't have to use it. I think there are some people who have said, there's one person who's actually made a comment about this ain't much of a revolution. Like, I think they've missed the point that for a lot of us, it is a revolution. Might not be for you, but then you do you, I do me. I ain't doing you, because that's very rude, if you get what I mean. Cheers, Firas. I look forward to what name you come up with. Let's see what you do, right? Let me just check. So, Dennis, I think you just explained, but how about images that are used with JPEG, PNG? Well, what do you mean by, though, when you say images that are used with JPEG, PNG? What do you mean by that? I mean, they'll get converted as well. Todd, I love it. I used it on 2 sites last night. It's great. Really? Oh, did you? Have you done it already? I mean, what I would say, though, is any time you ever install a plugin, run a snippet, run any type of code, even CSS, you need to go through your website and just double check because maybe the site logo needs to be re-added. Double check it, because I spotted that on one website and I couldn't work out why, but double check it. So there might be the odd little thing. What is good though is that this works for post images, thanks to Firas for tweaking the code there, adding to it. It works for product images. It works for custom field images. There are a few things I've got that I want to add to it, improve on it, but they will probably come at some point in the future. We're told a crow. How is it possible that someone can complain if you don't want to, don't use it? I think that's the problem. I'll tell you what it is. Sometimes some people will complain if they don't like you or they have an agenda or they just want to say it, right? I feel like I always find them to be what I call cowards. They're the kind of people who, because they're behind a machine, they'll say, oh, I don't like you or whatever. And I always feel like, you know, if you're walking down the street and you don't like the way someone is behaving or whatever, unless it impacts on you, you just walk on by, right? If you walk into a shop and the prices are too high, you don't go, well, they're shitty prices, and then walk. You know, you don't. You just walk out. You don't make a scene, if that makes sense, right? And I think some people, they just want to make a scene. They just want to like kick off, and it really gets me annoyed. Now I do want to address something because some people have touched on it. And I actually edited it out, and then I went, no, I'm going to leave it in because it's actual real emotion. So working on it for 2 days, the closer I got to getting it to work properly or as good as I could get it, I started to feel this rush of emotion. And it was like a mixture of achievement, fulfillment. It was like satisfaction. It was like feeling like I'm making a real brilliant like difference to the community. Look, can we just be really can we be really like frank about the fact that why has WordPress, for all of the developments and all the stuff that's coming out, why has WordPress not sorted this out for us? Why has WordPress not made it so that the images already do that? Because they were gonna, and then there was a bit of an issue about it. Some people going, oh, we don't want it to auto do it and all of that. Why is it that WordPress have not given us the facility to stop the duplicates in your file and database? So you can get rid of the 300, you can get rid of the 1024 or the large, right? But what about the 768? What about the 2048? What about the 1536 width? I sit there and I think, of all the fucking shit you want to work on and spend all of your hours in the community, and you want to slag off WP Engine, and you want to do all of this, all the stuff, the wonderful stuff you want to shake your ass at, you couldn't do that. Like, you know, I mean, you tell me what is one of the biggest problems that a lot of people have, right? You get a domain, you get your hosting, and you think, oh well, my website's not going to be that big, and some people just get the cheapest hosting package, right? Take SiteGround, you have 3 packages. Oh, I'll just get that one or whatever, and then all of a sudden your website is like 1 gig, 2 gig, 5 gig. The example, the one I worked on yesterday, 7.7 gig. Why? Yeah, okay, you weren't all using Webp. We get that. But the bulk of it was the duplicated shit in your file and database. So why WordPress have not sorted that out? Like, given you the facility to say, when I drop an image in, this is all I want. Right? Don't you go creating all these other stuff like that. I mean, I know what you're saying, Phil. I mean, I know what you're saying, but I do think like it's really misleading. So like when you go to media settings, you got thumbnail size, medium and large. And a lot of people go, well, 0, 0. I've said this so many times, even when you 0, 0, keep the thumbnail, but when you zero the others, you're still going to have small to medium, medium to large, large to large to large. They're all still there. And I get really annoyed by that. I'm really glad for Firas that, you know, you've improved, and you know what you gave back today to me to stick in the code. Big kudos to you for that, okay? Big kudos. Moi me. Checking is important. I'm fighting now 6 hours. The horizontal scrolling website on default page looks great, but I'm put. Yeah, you see, it should work. I mean, I'm trying to answer this. Horizontal scrolling, when you add in your other widgets, it will work. It's a difficult one to pinpoint why it's not, unless I'm specifically working on it or not. Right, I've just had an email come in about the thing, and I just want to check. Yeah, oh, yeah. So someone has just sent me an extra little bit of code that I will look at. I've got this bad feeling that I'm going to be spending a lot of time tweaking or making improvements, but there will come a point where I'm going to just say, there's only so much I can do because I've got other things to do, like client meetings and stuff. Palav, thanks a lot for the code you provided. Hey, I'm glad. Dennis, the reference on the site to images in the database. The reference on the site to images in the database. Dennis, I've completely lost what we're talking about now. I've completely lost what we're talking about. I've got to scroll back up now. You were talking, oh, images that are used with JPEG and PNG. Oh, right. Yes. Right. So this is what Firas did, right, is that if you've got a post, right, an existing post, right, and you've already got images in your post or the featured image, when you convert, posts latch onto the .png, .jpeg, even though the image has changed into a WebP. So when you go to the post, you'll have a blank, like a broken image. So that button basically goes, right, any images that already exist in the post with a latched on media URL, it takes the end point, the file type, and changes it to WebP. So now there is that one-to-one connection. That's what that does. And it should, I mean, I will be, when I get the next version out, I'll be doing a lot more clarity on what each button does and why you need to be using it. Hey, Wiki! Mark and Barbara, I hope you're okay. No, do you know something, Wiki? Wiki Design. I was looking at that on Friday, and then I stopped because there was a problem, and it's basically what you're saying there. So when I try, because I did feel, oh, won't it be amazing if you could just drop in an image, like from your phone, if it's in the HEIC format, and it converts it. There was a problem with that, and at that point I thought, I ain't gonna push it. Let me just get this working. I'm looking to enhance it with an AVIF bit, the image quality selector as well. But yeah, if I can find a way to get that in without using any extra APIs or anything like that, because I want to make it really accessible for people to use it, have a go. Palav, will Elementor deprecate sections? I don't think so at the moment. I think it's still there. Very dangerous to get rid of sections completely because of legacy websites. And you could say they should have converted to container, but I think, you know, that's very, very unfair. So I can't see it doing that at the moment. Yeah, exactly. Right. So, Firas, would you ever consider having on GitHub so we can contribute to it? Yes, I may do. Because I may do at some point. But it does come a point where, like, I don't want to get into full-blown developer mode where I'm continuously doing stuff to it. I want to just get to a point where I just leave it, kind of thing. So that's why I want to sort out a few things. I know you're looking into a few things to enhance it as well. But for me at the moment, the two biggest ones are the AVIF and the image quality. And that then for me means that compared to what a lot of people were doing normally and all of that, it now means that you don't really have to start using other plugins or other stuff kind of thing. You are right though, Phil. Images are a minefield, and that's why I'll do so much. If someone else wants to do something else with it, they can do. I'm never going to monetize it. I don't think it's fair to. I also feel like, because here's the thing, right? When you monetize an image optimization plugin, and there are lots of people that do, and it doesn't properly do or work for some cases, or it skips an image for no reason, or, you know, I mean, look, how many people here are completely oblivious that even the current image optimization plugins are still they're not touching your file and database, right? And so I feel like the minute you you monetize or you create a plugin, now comes expectation. Now comes accountability. And you now have to be on it, right? You are now indirectly responsible for what happens on people's websites. You could argue, but so are you. You just went and created a code snippet. Not really, it's just a code snippet. It's like any code you could find on the internet anywhere, right? If you decide to install it and you didn't use a bit of prudence to go and test it on the staging site or test it on a backup, well, get your backup first and all of that, that's on you. Just like any plugin you could install. I mean, I even sometimes go to the lengths of when I have a client and they want to have like WooCommerce, I will still take a backup before I stick WooCommerce on. Now, if there's not much happened on the website, then I'll just add it. But if we've already done so much, I am super extra careful. Or I'll take a manual backup or whatever we need to do. Because I don't want, like, to lose something, especially when it's a plugin that you go, well, that's never happened before. What the fuck? Because it can happen, right? You know this, right? You can be using something that you've used every day or many times, and then one day there's a glitch, a bug, a problem, something goes wrong. It's like, I remember someone, they used to take daily backups. No, they were a shop. It wasn't daily. It was every half an hour because they were quite a busy shop. And they stopped it because they were paying, and they went on to a, a lesser package with another company that would, you know, the way it was working. I can't remember who the company were. It wasn't Updraft or anything like that. So they went down to daily. So they were every half hour and they went to daily. The next day, they had quite a lot of sales go through. Sales. And then at some point, there was like, it wasn't malware, but there was a problem that hit the website and they had to roll a backup, right? And then someone in their team, right? I wasn't associated with their website. They went and hit the backup, and the backup took them back like, it wasn't a full 24 hours. No, it was worse than that, actually, because it was at certain, no, it wasn't full, but it was something like 12 or 13 hours. So all of these sales, the info was gone. They had to go through their emails then, and piece together who had bought what and what needs to go out where, and it was like a headache for them. So it's one of those things where, like, I always say that even when you know something is working beautifully, don't assume it always does. It's like your car, right? It's like your car, okay? You jump in your car, you turn on the engine, or you hit the button, and vroom, vroom, off you go. About, let me get this right. About 4 or 5, no, it was 2 months ago. About 2 months ago, I jumped in the car, turned on the engine, and it didn't come on. And I was like, huh? What's going on here? Turned it on, wouldn't go on. Called out the AA, and they basically told me your battery has hit 0. And I went, how come? I've been using the car. They went, no, there's a problem with the battery. There was a problem, and when you thought it was like recharging it or keeping it going, every time you drive your car, you're engaging the battery. It was 0. It was completely dead and gone, buried, destroyed, not destroyed, but gone. And I was like, oh, fuck me. 2 hours later, it was all sorted. Everything's rosy. Everyone's happy again. But it's that moment when, like, yeah, I'll sort that out. Don't worry. I'll go and get some stuff. Jump in the car. No, not going on. So be careful. Sorry, I went on a tangent there. Thank you very much, Hemel Web's Design. I'm all right, Ugman. How are you? Viras, as a web agency director, can you advise me on how you manage your clients' websites? I use WP Remote because I find that it's quite... I mean, look, every website I build is unique. I don't always use the same blueprint. Everything is built for what we need to do for the client's aims, not just what the client wants. It's what is the business aim and what are we trying to achieve? Sales, conversions. You can't say you're definitely going to achieve it because a lot of it's down to, marketing and other stuff like that. But I use WP Remote. Some people use WP Manage. Some people use Atarim, InstaWP. There's loads of stuff you can use, but I quite like WP Remote, especially with when you are running updates. So what it does, if you use the ultra safe mode, it takes a screenshot of the homepage, right? It runs the update. It then tells you what does the homepage look like now. And if you're happy, you then click a button and then it does the proper update. So what it does is it puts it in a sandbox area, does the update, screenshots, all of that. And then if you're happy, then it runs it. So there's various solutions you can use, but WP Remote is my favorite. I feel like they took a lot of what other people do and made it better. Also, it comes with Blog Vault. It comes with like Malcare. It comes with quite a heap of stuff, also when it generates the reports and stuff like that. But the visual regression stuff they do is really, really good. Sorry, I feel like Friday and Saturday really caught up with me. In fact, I need to go back to what I was saying, and I stopped and I went on to something else. I got a little bit emotional towards the end of the video. I didn't cry, but I could feel myself welling up almost in my brain. It was like my brain was like going, I was getting quite emotional. I think that kind of came across. It wasn't planned. It just happened because as I realized how much of a difference I'm making. And I mention how I hope by doing this, I get a bit more recognition. What do I mean by that? Because some people have said, well, what do you mean? You've got so many people on YouTube and people know you and they associate you with Elemental and stuff like that. So what do you mean? Recognition. How much more recognition do you need? Here's what I mean, okay? Because I do mention clubs and cliques and stuff like that. Or cliques. Clubs, that's what I meant. No matter how hard you work, you will not be fully appreciated. I'm not talking about you guys. I know you appreciate me and I appreciate you. I know that. We don't have to say it to each other, okay? I get it. But I'm talking about the WordPress kingpins. I'm talking about the WordPress people that run the show. And I don't just mean Automatic and Matt Mullingweg and all of that, okay? I'm talking about the other people, right? That do podcasts and shows and loads of stuff, right? They will never reach out and want to be associated with me or acknowledge what I do differently to other people because I'm not in the same clickety-click club where you suck ass and kiss ass for Automatic and all of that. Gutenberg, all of that, right? Unless you kiss ass with certain types of building, right? People don't want to know you. In fact, they will find ways to put you down, to find a flaw, to exaggerate deficiencies that you have as a business, a designer, a developer, a YouTuber, anything they can find. And they won't directly say it to you, but they are very cunning in how they do things, right? And I'm telling you now, okay, if I'm going to just cut the bullshit now, right? And I want to be careful, but I feel like if I'm careful, you won't get it. But if you look at the diversity, right, of a lot of these clubs and cliques and podcasts and shit out there, don't tell me they appreciate and recognize the wider fucking community. Because they don't. All right? They don't. And that's about as much as I can say without getting myself into trouble. But unless you kiss ass, right, with what they are preaching and what they're putting out there and what they're saying you use and how you should think and all of that, you will never be anywhere. You will never be anywhere, right? And that is actually one of the reasons why I don't feel like the appetite to ever go to WordCamp, because I just worry that the minute I go there, I'm going to come across a lot of fuckers and people that are going to have something to say because of what I do and how I do it. But that's the truth. And if you're not seeing it, if you're not, and when you're in the game, or you do podcasting or videos or you create stuff, I don't just do tutorials. I bleed out my guts, crush my intestines to put together solutions, methods, snippets, stuff. But you won't be mentioned unless you're part of their club or clique. And you will find that when they do podcasts and videos and newsletters and stuff, they will only promote each other. They will only put up on a pedestal their associates, because no one else matters. And that's why I got a little bit emotional, because I was like, I know that this, touch wood, is going to make a big difference to us. To them, I don't think they'll even bother opening or looking, because they won't even want to acknowledge that you exist. And that's just life at the end of the day. But that's what drives me to keep going, because I'm not looking to get their approval. I want to know that we are loving what we do, right? We are the real community. Okay, I don't just mean us, I don't just mean the Web Squadron, but I mean the real WordPress community is where we respect each other in what we do and how we do things, whatever we use, whatever page builder we use, right? Because there are some of the kingpins, the minute they know you're not using Gutenberg or Classic Editor, they don't really want to know you, mate. They don't really want to know you. Reading the comments by Firas Palav. Yep, they only care about dollars. Thanks, Firas. I will stay true to how I want to stay. Dennis, it's for everyone to decide for themselves what they want to believe or do. Yeah, I mean, I'm really honest, right? And I have been invited. I was invited onto a podcast about 15 months ago, but I felt like they have an agenda with what they promote and what they want to talk about, and I felt like I don't, okay, right. This last thing I'm going to say about this, and I'm going to move on to something else. Okay, last thing I'm going to say. When the whole Matt Mullenweg and WP Engine thing was kicking off, and still is, how many people interviewed Matt Mullenweg, and how many of them challenged what he said? I'm not taking sides here. I can see it from both points of view. But when they asked him a question and he gave a bit of a full of bullshit bollocks answer, they never challenged him. They didn't even question it. They just went with it. Because you're just kissing ass, all right? Yeah, Firas, the point you make there, I don't want to get too much into that, but that's true. And that's why I don't like promoting things, because maybe I changed my mind, but ultimately I do have a bit, I don't like to promote things unless I truly believe in it. Ugman, can you tell me a solution to completely delete plugins? Their data seems to stay. Go into your files and database. You may need to get rid of it from there, or you may need to do a search in your files and database, find it, delete it. WP Optimize, I was about to come on to that, but I actually sometimes run WP Sweep and WP Optimize. I'll run WP Sweep, then uninstall it. Then I might run WP Optimize as well if I feel like I need to, but either one of them is pretty damn good, and you can use them for free, and you'll be all right. Yeah, I mean, I know, to be honest, Mark, Barbara from Wiki Design, I know that you guys get it as well, and I know a few others that we are associated with get it as well, but there is this very much of this high school clique, and what you'll find is whenever they do podcasts, whenever they're promoting someone, whenever they're saying, hey, go and look at their website, go and look at their tool or whatever, it's the same people. The same, they just, they don't ever want to go into any variety or anything, because they know that the moment they start going, oh, aren't you excited about Gutenberg and WordPress Core 6.8? Ooh, we're going to go, no, not really. I mean, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, nah, meh, kind of thing. And it doesn't fit the political correctness of how they like to do things. Basically, they're all fake. It's all fake news. No, that's wrong. That's wrong accent. Fake news. Fake. No, I can't do it anymore. I have to rehearse it. Then I get it right. Phil, I went from premium theme, elemental, oxygen, custom themes. Huh? But Phil, you've done well. You've escaped the burden of page builders, and you're now flying because you're full on in control. Right, I have been live, believe it or not, already. I started a bit early for 47 minutes. Don't forget to smash the like button. But yeah, a lot of today was about the Webp optimization snippets. This is just a start. There's going to be more to do on it. Have I got any new exciting projects in the pipeline? Not really. Hold on. I have got one. I nearly gave that. It's not exciting, but it's something that I think is going to be ultra useful for loads of people out there that just want a one-page website without too many overheads, and they want like a built for you solution that they can modify and tinker with. I'm slowly working on something. I've been working on it for 3 weeks, but I've put more priority into client work, snippets, videos, and bits and pieces. I hope I can get it done quick. And by the way, when it is done, the template that I'm going to build for it is going to be completely free. I'm not monetizing it. I appreciate those that go and get the Elemental course or the CSS course or the $1 packs. I appreciate that. But this next little project I'm going to do, again, a bit like the snippet, I'm just giving it back to all of you, kind of thing. And it might not be for you, but it might be potentially something for other people out there that maybe just want a one-page website. But it will go from start to finish. It'll be start to finish with a lot of things before you even do the website. So it's like a new efficient way of doing things in a way. Firas says, I can't be bothered, honestly. Been working with WordPress for a few years now, and I only heard about someone named Matt like a couple of months ago in some Reddit argument. Wow. I mean, I'm impressed, Firas, if you hadn't heard of Matt so far then. But then again, it's understandable because you have probably focused more on the craft than the politics, and that's not a bad thing. You're really looking forward to start with custom themes, purely elemental. Hello, moved away from themes and add-ons and all that. Yeah, absolutely. Best way to work is to not rely on add-ons because that's my thoughts anyway. Nothing against plugins, developers. Every person out there that does a bit of code, pulls something together, should be given some kudos and respect because they sacrifice time and effort, and they might put something out. And someone might say, I don't like the look of that. Oh, the interface ain't great. Oh, it's not intuitive. Give the developer a break, right? Give them a break. They'll learn, they'll improve. But right now, give them a bit of a break. Yeah, don't completely destroy and cut them down. So I got nothing against add-ons and stuff, but I always feel like, you get so much out the bag with Elemental as it is. You don't need to use other add-ons and stuff. AI could potentially reinvigorate WP. Maybe, Mel. By the way, hope you're okay. Maybe. Mike is for you. Anyone ever used Airlift to get high SEO scores? Went from page speed. It was amazing, but had some issues. The trouble with Airlift is sometimes your scores will go up and sometimes they'll go down. It's very sporadic, which is why I mentioned it once when it first came out, but I've never done a proper full-blown video on it because I have found it sporadic. And I'm just not fully convinced enough to say don't use the code snippets and fast press and the other stuff I've recommended because I feel like they are so much more reliable. As far as SEO goes, I'm not sure. Seraphinite Accelerator was good when it came out. And then I quickly fell out of love with it very quickly when I realized that it was like the first 5,000 views or 50,000? I think it's 5,000. And then you got to pay. And then the cost goes up, 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 up. And I'm like, what? And I just fell out of love with it. Yeah, 5,000. I fell out of love with it. The minute I started realizing, hold on here. If someone wants to grow, right, they could be doing loads of mass marketing. Loads of people hit the website, but no one buys for whatever reason. And then they're paying quite a bit. And I feel like, it reminds me of Nitro Pack. Not a fan of those. All right, everyone, look, I've only been live for 53 minutes. I am actually going to jump off, mainly because my wife will be home soon, my son in a bit. And then I got to go over and see my mum and dad, innit? I got to go over and see my mum and dad. So I got to make sure my son's ready for that. Right now, I would rather be here. I'm getting loads of emails. I'm getting loads of YouTube comments coming in. I need to go in, look at them. I need to test out a few things. I'm probably going to be working more on the converter tomorrow-ish, I think. But for anyone that's not seen today's video and you've got a WordPress website, you need to fucking watch it. Because of all the game-changing videos or solutions that I think anyone else has ever come up with, I think this is the biggest thing since Pepsi Max. That's how big it is, right? So you need to go and have a look at it. Gotta prep Raheem for the grandparents. Absolutely, Eden. I mean, like, I'm going to be so bored out my arse there. Let me be frank, right? If anyone from my family is watching this, and they never really do, but if anyone is, I am going to be bored. The conversations will be dead, dry. No one will care about my code snippet today. No one will care about my video quality or the microphone or YouTubing or anything or clients. You say WordPress to them and they think you're talking about ironing. It's nothing to do with ironing. It's WordPress, the website. Why is it called WordPress then? What's that got to do with website? I don't fucking know, all right? That's just a name that they came up with. All right, everyone, look. Hey, look, Firas, that means a lot to me, all right? That really does mean a lot to me. And like I made sure I put your name in the pinned comment for the video, because I think it's ultra cool that people know that Firas Bluza provided the solution to make sure the post images media URLs were fixed. Okay, everyone, I'm going to jump off now. I hope you like, subscribe, share, and follow. I've got to find my button to end this, because otherwise I'll say goodbye, and then I'm still flustering around on how to actually end this. But yeah, look, everyone, take it easy, all right? I'll catch you all later. Probably tomorrow. Bye. I can't close it. Oh, I'm going to close it now. Okay, everyone. Bye.